Good day and welcome to my channel Stabilife Bart BKA. As you all know, I want to inform you about my amputation and have a little bit fun with it too. Today it is time for a new top 10. Today I have made a top 10 of musicians with a disability. This can either be by birth or due to an illness or an accident. To be honest, I was a bit disappointed. I mean, these people can be proud of what they did or do. There is a one-handed piano player and a guy who plays the guitar with no hands, so deep respect for that. But if you look it up, the money they make and the number of albums sold, that's not so great. I mean, in the USA, 0.63% of the population is missing a limb. That doesn't sound like much, but hey, it's still 2.1 million people. For example, there are 3.5 million truck drivers in the USA. Now, why was I disappointed? Because I found only about 20 musicians who are worth mentioning. So that would mean that globally we have about 3,200 musicians worth mentioning. But only the BMI, an American company that saves the music rights of composers and musicians, has a staggering number of more than 500,000 names in a database. And no, I cannot imagine that about 495,000 only write or publish music. So, there is a call to all you disabled out there. Show your creativity and get famous. And let's be honest, with a lot of famous musicians at this time, you kind of doubt their mental qualities. But let's check the top 10 and maybe you find your new idol. Number 10. Tony Melendez, this guitar-playing singer-songwriter and composer from Nicaragua, was born on the 9th of January 1962. Unfortunately, he was born missing both of his arms due to the medication that his mother took, so that makes it even more admirable that he plays the guitar. He plays it with his feet. Tony is a very spiritual man and he played once for the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope John Paul II, who was completely moved by his performance. He composes mostly spiritual music. Besides making music, he also wrote about his disability and how it influenced him in his career and his private life, and is he a motivational speaker. He won a couple of prizes for being the best male vocalist and even one for being the Artist of the Year. President Ronald Reagan called him a positive role model for America. At this moment, he still lives in America, in Missouri to be precise, with his wife. Number 9. Pascal Klieman, also known as Amazing Pascal, is from origin French-born DJ who now lives in Spain, Valencia. Born on April the 19th, 1968 in Toulouse, he's a big number in the DJ world. He was born without legs and hands due to the pregnancy speeder upper stilbestro. He originally went to law school, but when in the 80s and 90s the acid house scene started, he quit and became a DJ. He was one of the first to organize rave parties in France. He moved to Valencia in 1993. He was also the subject of a short documentary called Heroes, No facen falta alas para volar, which means such much as heroes, you don't need wings to fly. He also has his own record label and produces music. And last but not least, he also has his own record shop. Here for that. Number 8. Wingy Manone, our first jazz artist, one of my favorite types of music. Born on February the 13th in 1900 in the jazz city New Orleans, he died in 1982 in Las Vegas. He lost his arm in a car accident when he was 10 years old. He used his prosthetic arm so naturally that most people in the public did not even know it was not his own arm. Well, at least not the arm where he was born with. He started as a trumpetist in several local bands. Very soon he was traveling from New York through Chicago to California. He played with a lot of other artists, of which Benny Goodman is absolutely worth mentioning. One thing worth mentioning is that he laid the ground for the Glenn Miller hit In the Mood. In 1948 he published his autobiography called Trumpet on a Wing. In the 50s he tried to make some rock and roll music. Although it got a little bit in the Billboard pop charts, he continued playing jazz. And that he had a sense of humor, will this story show you? A good friend of him and a colleague of him sent him once a single cufflink for his birthday, and he was not even mad about it. Number 7. Our first woman, Victoria Modesta. Born on the 25th of February 1988 in the former Soviet Union, Latvia to be precise, she moved to the United Kingdom when she was 12. She's a singer, songwriter, performance artist and a model. She was a frequent guest at the hospital due to a medical error during birth. This led to a below-knee amputation in 2007. She's known for her sometimes provocative prosthetic legs, but she's one of the largest ambassadors for people with a limb amputation. She is still a very often asked model, so if that does not encourage us, and hey, maybe I can be a model too now. Or maybe not, maybe you should have been pretty before you got the amputation. But she started making music in 2009 and it has not been quiet around her since. Besides launching her own music, she made video clips which are very popular on the internet. She calls herself the first bionic pop artist. She was also a part of the closing ceremony of the Paralympics of 2012. This is where she wore a Swarovski crystal covered leg. She also acted, but that's not her main thing though. Number 6. And from British origin we have the in 1989 born Nicholas McCarthy, the first piano player who has no right hand since birth to graduate from the Royal College of Music in London. He began his piano studies when he was 14 and graduated in 2012. He was an original member of the British Para Orchestra, which consists of disabled and non-disabled musicians. Nicholas has been touring all over the world as a piano player as well as a motivational speaker, something some people in his direct surroundings did not expect to happen when he found out that he wanted to become a piano player. Besides being a very good piano player, he's also a motivational speaker who has made an appearance at a TED conference in the Royal Albert Hall. Number 5. And on number 5 we have the in 1970 born Canadian rock singer Martin Deschamps. Martin was born without his left arm and right leg, and on his right hand he only has 2 fingers. He's a solo artist as well as the lead singer of the reunited Offenbach, due to the death of the former lead singer Boulez. He also performed in the opening ceremony of the 2010 Winter Paralympics, and in 2012 he published a CD with his daughter for Christmas. What the best is, he has a custom-made Harley Davidson with 3 wheels, and to be honest, it looks pretty cool actually. Number 4. And here we find Leslie West, the in 1945 born guitar player and singer. He is also a rock artist and best known from the band Mountain. He was born with all his limbs, but when in 2012 there were some complications due to diabetics, he lost a part of his right leg. He had one album on number 1 in the USA Billboard Blues albums. That was in 2013 with the album Still Climbing. The album made number 198 in the US Billboard 200. And his 2015 album Soundcheck peaked at number 2 in the US Billboard 200. Leslie was born in New York as Leslie Weinstein, grew up in New Jersey and changed his name to West when his parents got a divorce. Number 3. And now we are entering the top 3 with Olga Gutierrez. Unfortunately, she died in 2015 at a respectable age of 86, and she was an Argentinian pasillo singer. She started singing on stage when she was 2 years old. At 18 she started singing professionally when she started touring in South America. She became an amputee in 2008. This was due to the diabetes which she had since 2003. She really was the queen of pasillo music. Pasillo music is originally from Ecuador and it is not very famous in Europe, but slowly growing. To be honest, I did not hear from this music style before I made this video, but I looked it up and hey, I like it. It is a little bit like, those criminal movies from the 30s, 40s in South America. It's just great music. I like it. Close to jazz. Perfect. Number 2. And here we have Rick Allen, the drummer of the hard rock band Def Leppard. Somehow, as a jazz lover, I kind of stand out in this amputee scene. I mean, I don't like hard rock or rock at all. Hey, I like jazz. Sorry for that. But Rick was born in 1963 with a complete body, and in 1984 bad luck struck him as he was driving his Corvette C4 and he came in a car accident and lost his left arm. First, the doctors tried to save his arm, but due to an infection it had to be amputated. He started playing the drums again quite fast after his amputation and uses especially for him designed equipment in which his left foot takes over what his left arm was supposed to do. Rick is very active in charity together with his wife. They focus on people in distress and veterans to help them give a meaning to their life. Number 1. And our good old number 1, Roberto Carlos. Who? Roberto Carlos. Well, according to Wikipedia, he has a net worth of $160 million. And I never heard of the guy before I made the top 10. But Roberto was born in 1941 and he is considered to be one of the most influential musicians in Brazil and has a nickname King of Latin Music, or just the King. Hey, that sounds familiar, but we'll get to that later. He lost his right leg just below the knee when he was 6 years old during the Feast of St. Peter when he was hit by a steam locomotive. He learned to play the guitar and the piano as a child. And here we cut to the name King. The name the King should suit him well, because Elvis is his big idol and he claims that he was influenced by this king. Well, this was the top 10 musicians with disabilities. Please let me know who of these 10 is your favorite, and maybe I overlooked one or two, then write that down below and maybe I can make a part 2. Oh yes, and again, if you are offended by this video, I suggest you don't look at it again. And if you have any nice clips or ideas for a top 10, send them to me or write them in the comment box below. And you can also tell me which one you like the best and why we should use it and why you like it the best. Do not forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button and ting-a-ling-a-ling, hit the notification button. And every Saturday around 3 o'clock we upload a new video about me in daily situations. And every Wednesday around the same time we upload an extra video which can contain practically everything. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And again, if you have any questions or just want to talk to somebody who is an amputee, send me a direct message. I will give you my email address and we can be in contact. So have a nice day and catch you later.